The trailer for the upcoming season of the Amazing Digital Circus teased several different locations, sparking numerous theories about where the show might take its characters next. Among these glimpses, we witnessed three distinct settings, with one still unfinished. Since Episode 2 took place in the candy-filled Candy Canyon Kingdom, it seems safe to assume that Episode 3's adventure will take place elsewhere. Many fans have pointed out the darker, more ominous scenes shown in the trailer, leading to speculation that Episode 3 could center around the haunted house setting. There, we briefly saw Kinger holding a shotgun, adding to the eerie atmosphere. Following that, Episode 4 could bring us into the world of Spudsy, where Jax had an intriguing encounter with a mysterious hand. Episode 5 may even introduce the Colosseum, a location which remained unfinished during the season preview. However, these are only theories, and the actual order of episodes could be different from what was shown. So, let's dive deeper into what might actually be in store for us. One key piece of information we do know for certain is that Episode 3 will prominently feature Zooble, along with another character. If we think back to Episode 2, we saw a similar focus on Goo, yet Pomni remained at the forefront as the show's central character. With this in mind, it's possible that Episode 3 will revolve around Zooble and Pomni evolving relationship. If so, this would be a continuation of what we saw in Episode 2, where Pomni slowly began to bond with the other members of the circus. One pivotal moment was during the funeral for Kaufmo, where Pomni came to the realization that the circus members were more than just acquaintances. They were friends she could rely on. In that emotional scene, several characters extended their hands to Pomni, offering support and unity, with the notable exception of Jax. This growing camaraderie could play a major role in Episode 3, as Pomni opens up even further to her fellow circus members. However, it's also possible that the focus will be more on Zooble and another, yet unnamed, character. Given Zooble's personality, we might see her share why she chooses to spend more time alone compared to the other members. Episode 3 could explore this dynamic in depth, shedding light on Zooble's past and how she relates to the rest of the circus. If the upcoming adventure follows the same narrative structure as Episode 2, where there were two distinct settings, we could see a similar pattern here. The episode might begin in the haunted mansion, with part of the story unfolding there, and later transition to a secondary location, potentially the Spudsy fast food restaurant, where we saw Jax's brief but memorable encounter with the mysterious hand. If this happens, we would see most of the remaining NPCs introduced in the trailer by the third episode. Remember, there were 8 new NPCs introduced this season, and we've already encountered a few, like Princess Lulalalu, Goo, and the mannequins in Episode 2. If Episode 3 features the haunted mansion and the Spudsy restaurant, we could meet characters like Martha Millen Hall and her ghostly dog, as well as Orbs Man and possibly the tape recorder. That said, cramming so many new characters into a single episode would leave us with little to reveal in future episodes, which is why it seems more likely that we'll encounter one new location and its accompanying NPCs per episode. Just like the backrooms in Episode 2, which acted as a sublocation to Candy Canyon, Episode 3 could follow a similar structure, dividing its focus between the haunted mansion and the circus itself. Based on Zooble's solitary tendencies, Episode 3 could feature a split narrative similar to what we saw in Episodes 1 and 2. In Episode 1, the plot was divided between the Gloink adventure and Pomni interactions with the other circus members, while Episode 2 had one part focused on Pomni and Goo's journey, and another part centered around the broader cast. If Episode 3 continues this trend, we could see some of the circus members embarking on an adventure to the haunted mansion. This could be an opportunity for Zooble to show Pomni more of the circus, beyond what Kane initially introduced. For example, Zooble could show Pomni the infamous KMO's room, a place Pomni only glimpsed briefly when they encountered the abstracted Kaufmo. If you're face to face with a horse-sized creature like Kaufmo, it's unlikely you'll notice much of the room's decor. But, with Zooble guiding Pomni, there's a chance to delve into more details of the circus and its mysteries. There's also the possibility that Episode 3 might take place not in the haunted mansion, but in the Spudsy fast food restaurant, with Jax taking center stage. In the trailer, we saw Jax in a fast food worker's uniform, and it's possible that other circus members might also don these outfits in this episode. Gooseworx, the creator, hinted that the characters would undergo a wardrobe change in one episode, which might refer to the Spudsy adventure. Could the characters be forced to work at Spudsy, serving increasingly bizarre and irritating customers? Perhaps Orbs B will make an appearance here, either as a customer or even the manager of the establishment. If Episode 3 does focus on Jax, it would be a crucial opportunity for character development. Jax's behavior in Episode 2 drew sharp criticism from fans due to his malicious actions, like blackmailing Gangle and allowing the chocolate fudge monster into the kingdom. Although Gooseworx has stated that Jax was never intended to be a hero, many fans had initially seen him as more of a mischievous prankster rather than an outright villain. After Episode 2, that perception has shifted, and it's clear that Jax has a darker side. Could Episode 3 serve as a redemption arc for Jax, showing a softer, more vulnerable side to the character? Perhaps a backstory could explain how he became so jaded over time. We know from Episode 2 that characters like Regatha struggled to adjust to life in the circus, so it's possible Jax went through a similar experience, slowly losing his empathy over time. Seeing Jax in a new light could offer a fresh perspective on his character, especially if Episode 3 dives into his backstory or emotional struggles. Many fans are hopeful that someone will break through his tough exterior, revealing that there might be more to Jax than meets the eye. If we continue to explore the personal stories of each circus member, flashbacks might become a regular feature in future episodes, providing insight into their early days in the circus. This would allow for more nuanced storytelling and help fans understand how these characters develop their distinct personalities. Although we don't know the exact episode order, it seems highly likely that Episode 3 will focus on the Haunted Mansion adventure, leaving the Spudsy episode for Episode 4. Martha Millen Hall, her ghostly pet, and the other NPCs seen in the trailer were fully animated, so it stands to reason that they'll be featured in the Haunted Mansion rather than the Colosseum, which appears to be unfinished. If Martha plays a similar role to Princess Lula Lalu in Episode 2, she could be another advanced NPC who requires the circus members' help in some way. This could be a turning point for Pomni, who, after the events of Episode 2, will likely be more cautious about getting attached to NPCs. Kane's comment about the circus members loving their NPCs hints that Gummigoo's fate might not be the first time a circus member has formed a bond with an NPC, only for them to meet a tragic end. In summary, Episode 3 will likely take place in the Haunted Mansion, and we'll hopefully get more clarity once the next trailer drops. Let me know what you think might happen in Episode 3's adventure in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe.